during, aka digging up sunchokes, aka Jerusalem artichokes, taking them out of the small garden permanently. I'm going to put them out in the yard. During, I had to stop digging because I have way too many sunchokes. I've only dug up maybe half of them, so I don't know what to do with them all. Well, that's done. So much fun. I think I'll do it again. There's a lot of green manure, as it is called. All the, henbit and weeds and things that are starting to grow in there. I'm gonna chop it up again one more time, along with all the goodies that were left in there from last year. I like to keep as much organic matter in my dirt as possible. Makes the dirt better soil. Round 2 complete. Just cleaned out the asparagus bed over here. All this raised bed around here, I'm going to fill in with compost. And I'll probably plant, oh, there's people on horses up there on the trail. Neat. Probably plant potatoes in here, or maybe gladioles this year. I can't decide where I want to put everything yet. I'll figure out as I go, though. Tilled. Oh, this is my yard dirt. Look how black it is. So good. That's why I planted these blackberries out here to begin with. But man, that tiller went like 8 inches into the yard without even pushing down on it. I wasn't forcing it at all. I just kind of wiggled it back and forth and then spun around one time and came back this direction. It completely loosened that soil up. If you only ever seen what sunchokes look like, they're a tuber. And I've accidentally broken this one by digging it up or whatever, but this is what they look like. They're actually in the sunflower family, and I think they are native to the eastern part of the United States. But this is how I'm going to plant them. Just like that. That's done. Just like that. So I'm going to show you guys what I have left of those sun. There's, I don't know, a gallon of them right there. Like I said earlier, I didn't even dig them all up because there's so many. And then I've got a 5-gallon bucket. So what does one to do with all this free stuff to plant? I've never actually eaten these. I don't know if they're really good to eat or not, per se, but I know the Native Americans used to subside on them. But I just like them because they're an actual native sunflower and they come back every year. What to do with them? When in doubt, you know what they say, right? The saying goes, whip out the tiller, right? Duh. Yeah, now I come through here with the old come along. Dig me a little furrow, slash ditch, slash trench, whatever you want to call it, depression, and I am going to plant more stuff. I don't know how long it would take them to sprout, but maybe a month, 6 weeks, something like that. Maybe even less than a month, I don't know. It just depends on the way the spring goes. As warm as it is now, it's like, I'll show you guys. These are already starting to send up growth. This looks similar to like a tulip bulb or something like that, daffodil maybe, but this is a sunchoke. It's already starting to put its shoots up, so I'd imagine they just keep on trucking. So there's only about 5 inches of dirt above those bulbs, I'd say, so I give them a month. They're supposed to be about 7 feet tall, roughly 5 to 8 feet, basically. Just depends on what their nutrition's like, I'm sure. But yeah, they're supposed to be really good for bees, and they come back every year. You don't have to reseed them, and you can eat the tuber. It makes a lot of pollen for pollinators, honeybees and such. So I still have 5 gallons though. This is where my brain starts going into like hyperdrive, and I just start thinking, oh, I need to plant a mile of these in the yard or something, you know. I could give a bunch away, but I don't know who I'd give them to. The only other people I know that garden like I do or like my parents. So, dadgum. Gardening problems, right? I did plant these sunchokes right by my blackberry patch, so maybe eventually once I dig up all the rest of these and get them put in the big garden, I'll just have a big swath of Jerusalem artichokes, aka the sunchokes. Mr. Tom is kind of puffed up today. He's looking a lot better than he was yet. There he goes. He's doing the gobbles and everything today. I don't know if I've ever seen a tom turkey gobble while they're laying on the ground, though. It's kind of funny. He must be feeling better today. I wonder if he just had a little bird illness or something like that. Now he's looking tip-top again. Neck's all red. You gonna gobble or what? Just thinking about it. Camera shy birds, I tell you what. So y'all talked me into it. This is what I'm gonna do. Got a stake here, a stake right over there. That is 10 foot from that row towards the east. I'm just gonna till a furrow through here. I'll probably go down and back one time, get it chopped up good. This over here tilled up immaculately, like it was garden dirt or something. I've never actually worked that ground right there before. It was great, nice and loose. So yeah, I've got a 5-gallon bucket of sunchokes over there still, and then several tubers in there. I probably still won't, I mean, I'd have to probably do 3 more of these to use them all up, but I don't think I need quite that many. However, I was thinking on the maintenance side of things, since I had them in a small garden to begin with, I basically had to pull all the dead stuff out of there every year. And once these die off in the fall or whatever, after we get a frost, I can just run them over with a mower, and then you probably wouldn't even be able to tell they're in the yard till they start to emerge again the next year. So it'll be super easy to maintain. I can water them too. I've got a long enough hose I can reach over here. Things start getting too dry or whatever. So yeah, I think it's gonna work out good. Let's get after it again. So I made 3 passes. I'll tell you why. Right down the middle of this has all never been worked before, folks. So in the middle of that tiller, there's a gap about probably 3 or 4 inches wide in between the tines, something like that. I noticed after I went down and back, there was a ridge in the middle where the grass roots hadn't been touched by the tines. So I went ahead and, hopefully you can see me on a hyperlapse kind of doing this, and it broke up all those roots for me. So now I can take the come along and get her done, you know what I'm saying? Show you guys my spacing on these bad boys, huh? About every foot-ish, or less. If you have as many as I do, you can do what you want, no doubt. So that's what I did. We'll see what it ends up doing. This girl, freaking pumped. They're so pretty. They make a, I don't know, like a 3-inch bloom. It's just bright yellow. Beautiful things. What's up, dudes and dudettes? Had to take a little break and get some water and a snack. Oh gosh, I'm stuck. All right. Anyways, I think I'm gonna be done for the day. I got this bad boy planted. And I still have like 3 gallons, probably 2.5 gallons with these sunchokes left. I think what I'm going to do with them, I'll probably honestly just leave them out here for a while. I'll then kind of sun dry a little bit, and then I'll come back out here and pick them up, get all this excess dirt off of them, and then hell, I'm gonna eat some of them, try them out. I haven't eaten one in a long time. It's been 25 plus years probably since I've eaten one. I remember the one I ate was good. I enjoyed it. I just ate it fresh. Some people say you have to cook these things because of some compound in them or something like that, but didn't hurt me back then when I was a kid and I ate one. But I mean, look at the size of some of these freaking things. They're like, some of these look like iris bulbs or something like that. They're so freaking big. There's another one. I mean, these aren't even the biggest ones I've planted. When you guys saw them, they were like, some of them are almost twice the size of this. This is like, you know, almost fist size here. So yeah, I'm gonna take a couple in the house later tonight and wash them off good and peel them, and eat them, slice them up, eat them fresh. They're supposed to be like a, oh gosh dang it, I can't remember what's that called, water chestnut, something like that. So yeah, cool beans. Camera shy turkey, unreal. There it is. All right, get that out of my system and his system, I guess, huh? Well, it's 3 o'clock on Sunday afternoon, and I've been out here in the backyard for like, I don't know, 13, 14 hours this weekend, and I'm gonna be done so I can chill for a little bit. Yeah, gardening's hard work, folks, and eventually get this thing squared away. I can't decide. I really want to add mulch, or not mulch, compost to my raised beds because they're down about, I don't know, 4 to 6 inches. I may have a little bit over here in my makeshift compost area. I haven't turned that in a while, so I don't know how much that's going to be good, but I'm going to get rid of this thing because I don't like the way it looks anymore. It's bugging me. But if there's any good compost in there, I'll take it and put it in my raised beds and turn it into the soil that I already have, because I want to plant my onions and my potatoes in these raised beds rather than putting them in a big garden. And the small garden that you guys saw me till earlier is going to be nothing but tomato plants this summer. So I think I can get about 40 plants in there. The dimensions of the small garden is 20 feet by 30 feet. I like to plant my, I'll show you guys whenever I do it, but I like to plant my tomatoes with a flake of straw, 4 flakes of straw around the base of the tomato plant. So I'll pull a string, I'll show you guys. In fact, I use these pieces of rebar right here. Say I start here, I'll pull a string through here. Probably, since this has a border on it, I'll just put straw all the way against this board on the edge. Then I'll plant a tomato every second flake of straw, so to speak, for my spacing. And it actually works out perfect with the cages. I've built my cages. Something else I'll show you guys real quick. So I don't use those tomato cages you see at the store because they're not big enough for a tomato plant, unless you've got some sort of a dwarf tomato plant or whatever. But here's the ones that I use. I built them myself out of, it's just I think it's 6 by 6 concrete wire, but they work fantastic. They're 5 feet tall. I don't know the exact width, but whenever it comes to like a flake of straw, I'll show you guys here. Still got a piece of wire around it, but this is 1 flake of straw. So the cage would basically sit on top of 3 other pieces, centered with a tomato right here where my foot is, if you can imagine that. And I'll show you guys how I do it once the season comes, but those are my tomato cages. And another thing I like to do now, since these are already 5 feet tall, I like to take, if you use cages this big and you got good soil, your tomatoes will come up out of the top of that cage and then back down like 3 feet, 4 feet down the outside of the cages sometimes, and you can't walk in between your rows. So what I've been doing is I'll take a 5-gallon or a couple 5-gallon buckets and I'll set the cage on top of the 5-gallon buckets, okay? And that gives me, I don't know what the dimensions of the bucket is, but whatever the height of the bucket is probably up here on me, top of the cage. And then I take a cattle panel. Like I said, I'll show you guys all this stuff once I do it, but take a cattle panel and I stick them on top. I plant my rows of tomatoes close enough to where I can still till down in between them, in between 2 rows. But I put them far enough apart to where these cages will support these cattle panels resting on top of the tomato cage, right? What that does, it allows the plant to grow up on top, and it makes kind of like a canopy, really. A tomato fruit tunnel, as it was. It's pretty, my wife loves it, so do my kids. Like, whenever you look down through the tunnel, as they call it, my kids call it the tomato tunnel, it's pretty cool. All it is just a bunch of green vines with fruit hanging everywhere, as long as everything goes well, but I usually plant my tomatoes in the big garden, but I'm gonna do nothing but tomatoes in my small garden. I know I had at least 36, if not 40 in there. I've got like 45 or 6 cages or so. So I'll just, whatever I got left, I'll just plant a few more in the big garden, kind of by themselves, but let them do their thing. But we have got, this year is a mission from God for salsa. We haven't canned anything in 2 years. It's time for some salsa. And if you guys have never eaten homemade salsa from homemade ingredients, oh my Lanta. Okay, I'm rambling. Outro. Love you guys. Hope your gardens are doing well. Hope everything in your lives are doing well. And I will see you guys on the next one, because there's going to be a lot more of these. Check ya. Thomas. Speak to me, Tomas. Ew. Chickens are weird, folks. Like goats, they'll literally eat anything. If they can pick it, they'll eat it. There he is. All right. Outro complete.